Hey guys, what's going on? We're going to do a Virginia update, but not about guns. Why? Because I've already talked about that for several videos. And other YouTubers have already gotten to the punch faster in regards to which bills passed and which ones failed recently. Most notably, the red flag law and the one handgun a month bill did pass, unfortunately. Northern just has to sign it. But the assault weapons ban did fail, so that's one small victory in all this. The red flag law is really, really bad. We'll get into that a little bit, obviously. But again, I'm not going to get into too much because you guys already know that. Like, the bigger YouTubers have already done countless videos on why red flag laws are bad. Like, people basically have made their mind up about that already. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to bring in several different stories of what Democrats are trying to do to this state and bring it all together to paint the picture of them just, in a nutshell, just trying to make this state unbearable. They are doing so many different things at the same time that the gun thing is the only thing that's actually horrendously bad on its own. The other things are like little small things. If that was the only thing happening, it wouldn't be a big deal. But they keep on combining all of these things together that make people's lives more difficult. It makes them more miserable. It actually increases suffering. It makes people's doing their day-to-day things more difficult. That shouldn't be what politicians do. We should not pay politicians to make our life more miserable. That is such a abusive relationship that we are in right now. I don't know why half the state can't see that. I don't know why Democrats can't see that. Well, that just goes to the broader picture of people who live in liberal example, and then it makes their lives unbearable. They're unable to live every single fucking time. Every single time I try to make a video, someone pulls up right next to me. It doesn't matter where the fuck I park in the parking lot, someone pulls up right next to me literally every single time. That is amazing. Fuck off, people. You have like 200 other parking spots you could park at. Anyway, tandem. Where was I going with this? I might edit that out. But anyway, I just knew it was going to happen. I called it as soon as I pulled up here. Anyway, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the middle of open sea of parking spots. Some guy pulled up right next to me. Amazing. Anyway, and they're mowing the lawn right next to me. Oh, that is just rich. Can a man get 1 second of peace? Anyway, people vote in for radical liberal policies in California, for example. It makes the state unbearable for them to live in. They can't afford it. Living conditions are worse. Everything is more difficult to do. Traffic is worse. I'm sorry for the background noise. I can't do anything about it. You know what? I'm just going to move because I just have no patience for this shit. I'm so tired of this happening. I just want a moment's peace from these people, but no, they will not stop fucking bugging me. Like, fuck off. That's the point of my whole entire existence. Tell the whole entire fucking country to fuck off, or at least half of it anyway. Anyway, we need to get back on point here. We never even started the article yet. So all these things, living conditions, they can't afford things, crime goes up, rent goes up, their wages stay the same, whatever. All these horrible things that I will not go into in detail because you guys already know about it. And then they go and move to like Texas or Oregon or Virginia or something, and then they vote for the same fucking policies every single time. They can't see that their own actions contributed to their suffering and contributed to them having to move in order to survive. They are so fucking dumb that they can't see that. They're like, what, man, I just can't afford things. Life is getting too tough here. Things are getting too expensive. Gas is going up. Crime's going up. I can't afford rent. Rent's going up. Just, man, let me vote for this politician who literally supports every single one of those things. And they are so dumb that they can't see that. It's just amazing. I can't imagine being that dumb. But here is, in addition to the gun things, in addition to the trying to silence free speech that Virginia lawmakers are constantly pushing, not only that, but they want to raise taxes. So they want to take away your ability to defend yourselves. They want to take away your ability to speak out against all the fascist policies, especially online. And they want to raise taxes. Specifically, this one tax we're going to talk about is the meal tax. You're going to say, what, they're just raising the price of eating out. That's not going to make a breakdown of society. Well, if you would take the bigger picture into account, which I know small brain people can't do that, the restaurant industry employs hundreds of thousands of people in Virginia, if not millions. When you raised the sales tax, specifically if you raise the tax on eating out, the food and beverage tax, then less people eat out. They're like,
Last time we went out, it was just so expensive. Let's just not do it as often. So they eat out less. So then restaurants make less money. So they have to lay off employees or not give people raises or whatever, or reduce people from full-time to part-time or whatever. That hurts people's livelihood. Yes, eating out is a luxury. We can totally function in a society where hypothetically restaurants never existed. It's a pretty miserable existence, don't you think? There's a lot of things that we enjoy in our society that, yeah, we don't need, but they still employ a lot of people. Movie theaters, you don't need movie theaters. If we suddenly just raised the movie tax so that no one goes to the movie theaters, which is already happening because they're already raising the price anyway. Let's say the government artificially rose it, then less people would watch movies, and then the movie industry would collapse, and then hundreds of thousands of people across the country would be out of jobs. There's a difference between the market deciding, hey, people would rather stay in and watch a movie on Netflix, or they'd rather download or stream something or whatever instead of going out and wasting a bunch of time in traffic and spending $20 at least on snacks and $50 in tickets for 3 or 4 people, whatever. So then the movie theater industry is seeing losses due to a natural market effect. That's different than the government artificially stepping in and say, hey, we're going to tax the fuck out of this specific thing and make your lives more difficult. So let's go into it, shall we? If not years ago, because that's the way the whole country's going. They're upset over a bill that will allow counties to raise meal taxes by as much as 6%. So not only are you paying sales tax on food you're buying, there's a meal tax that can be up as 6%. Sale tax is already at 5%. So that's 11% extra you're paying that the government is just taking. The restaurant ain't getting that. You're not getting any additional service from that. The government is just leeching off your transaction, leeching off your money. So not only do you pay income tax on the money you get, but then when you spend that money, you're taxed yet again. As it stands now, for example, York, I can't say that, Gloucester, Northampton, and Island of Wight counties charge a 4% food and beverage tax on top of the 5% state charges. Association members and owners of Omar's Carriage House in Norfolk, Omar Burkreese, says the bill can mean trouble for Virginia restaurant owners. He says the cost of doing business is already high. I would hope it doesn't pass, because if it does pass, it will destroy a lot of businesses, he says. It will take away from the small business because we cannot compete with the corporate world. See, big companies pay politicians to pass bills like this because the big companies can absorb this tax. They can weather it out. They can let go of a couple employees. They can not open another location. They can whatever. They are so big they can adapt to this stuff. But smaller businesses cannot. This is how big business, in lots of different ways, this is how they play dirty. They don't play fair. They don't just try to compete with small business directly through superior products and superior service. What they do is they lobby politicians to say, hey, if we give money to your campaign, then can you pass this bill that will stifle our competition? That's crony capitalism. That's not capitalism. That is not what America should be about. That's not promoting. That's not healthy for anyone. It's not libertarian. It's not Republican. It's not America First. It's not any of those labels. That's just crony, sleazy, slimeball activity. So then the big companies pay the politicians to pass that, and then the big companies take a little bit of a hit, obviously, because they're getting charged more for stuff. Less people going to their businesses too because of the increased sales tax. But the mom and pop shop, the small businesses, they're hit so hard that they have to lots of times close entirely. And then the big business will make up for the little small dent they got hit with, because now there's less competition. There's a hole in the market. All the people who used to go to the mom and pops are like, well, where are we going to go for dinner? Where we can go to Chili's, we can go to McDonald's, we can go to the big chains. Now that the small mom and pop shop's out of business, and this is how they do it. And then they see raised profits because all these people are going there now, and that's how they beat out the competition. This is done across various sectors of the economy, not just restaurants. Retail does it a lot too. Walmart is the biggest company that does this, and Amazon too. It's not fair competition, and that's what produces best services and best products, and higher wages for people too, because a company that can produce a higher service and a higher product will get more money to pay their employees more. Employees will want to work there. That's how economies are supposed to work. Economies are not supposed to be a bunch of people working behind closed doors, giving each other money to take out other businesses. It's like bribing referees. We don't allow bribing referees for sports. Why are we allowing bribing of politicians? In a statement, the association charged that House Bill 785 and Senate Bill 588 could create job-killing... I can talk, right? I speak English as my first language. Job-killing taxes. It could enormously increase taxes without input from voters. Well, that's what Democrats want. They don't want any opposition to any of their batshit crazy ideas because they know that if there was an open-air forum with the evil playing field between the people debating it, they know they would get crushed because they don't have the facts, they don't have the arguments, they don't have the stats to back them up, they don't have the sound logic in their reasoning, none of that. I know it's a Ben Shapiro line, but it makes sense. It's true. Ben Shapiro says. That's why they're shutting down criticism. Criticism of a government official online, if they got their way, would now be a crime. You quote unquote can't harass them online. What does harassment mean? Oh, anything they want, any criticism whatsoever. That means harassment, and therefore, boom, you're taken off the internet. No, you can't criticize Coon Man, blackface, baby killer, gun taking Northam. You can't. I for sure would be taken out during that bill. Look at all my videos of me making fun of him or criticizing him. He's my new favorite target. Why? Because it's a rule of the internet. When you tell someone not to do something, they're going to do it more. If someone says, don't make fun of me, then people are more likely to make fun of him. That's like when Putin got mad at the internet. It's like, I don't want people calling me gay on the internet. And then, like, he was bombarded with, like, people making fun of him for being gay. Like, it's just, that's not how the internet works, folks. That's not how the internet works, kids. You should know better. Know about internet safety and the law of the internet. If you tell them not to do something, they're going to fucking do it. Meals tax are regressive, punishing households less able to absorb the costs. Terry said in a press release, the consequences are clear. Fewer customers dining out means a less vibrant restaurant scene in Virginia. Borchris said to create buzz and energy in the region, leaders must be mindful of high taxes which slow down tourism. And here's another bombshell. Tourists that come to this, I think it's a typo, that doesn't make any sense. Tourists that come here said they can't believe that we are literally almost, if not higher, than the big cities, New York, Chicago, Florida, California. And that just flabbergasted me. I already knew taxes were high here, but some of the sales tax or the meals tax he's specifically talking about are higher than in Chicago, in New York, Florida, and California. Why the fucking hell are we paying so much in meal taxes? Well, I can answer you that question. Democrats. Democrats just love raising taxes. Tax. Just tax everyone to fucking oblivion so they will have to rely on the government for their food, for their welfare, for their housing, for everything, every single tiny little thing. Think of everything you need in your life. The Democrats have a program to give people that for free, and they take your money to do so. Again, I don't eat out that much. Why? Because it's already expensive as it is. With this meal tax, it's going to be even more expensive. I'm going to go out even less more than now. But eating out is not the thing at stake. The thing at stake are hundreds of thousands of people's jobs, their livelihood, able to take care of their families, able to afford to go to college or a trade school, to advance in life. That's what we're talking about here. Who gives a shit? Oh, eating out. I eat out like 4 or 5 times a year because I just don't. I have to save money all the time, so that's an easy way to save money. But I would still like to eat out when I am able to, and I want people who work there to be able to have jobs. So that's the whole summary of this video in a nutshell. Is the Democrats are increasingly doing. It seems like every single day I see a new bill they're trying to pass that's going to make people's lives more miserable, either raising taxes or making their life difficult in some way, or taking away their rights, or not fixing traffic or construction problems, or taking in all these immigrants and just crowding up Northern Virginia with a bunch of fucking foreigners who can't drive worth shit and just siphon off welfare and take away your taxes. This one thing by itself is not the end of the world, obviously. But taking everything in consideration, where everything takes more time to do because of government red tape and regulations, everything takes longer to get to because of traffic, People's incompetence is skyrocketing. People's IQs are falling. Society is slowly not being able to do the things it was once able to do in the sort of efficiency it was able to do because of all these different factors. Everything takes longer to do. Every person you interact with is dumber and slower. Everything costs more money, so you have to work more for the same amount of livelihood. And not only that, but they're trying to take away your rights all the time. The gun laws they're trying to pass breaks like half the fucking Bill of Rights. With the right to privacy, the right to a speedy and fair trial, the right to a public trial, your right to bear arms, obviously, and then they're trying to take away your freedom of speech where you can't criticize them online. And harassment means any criticism whatsoever. There's no such thing as valid criticism of their beliefs. Any criticism of any of their beliefs whatsoever is automatically harassment, automatically hate speech, automatically you can't do it, shut down their YouTube, shut down their PayPal, get them fired from their jobs, harass them online, send mobs of people at their homes, mobs of people attack them online, take away their livelihood, you can't comment on all these things, whatever, purge them from the internet. You think that's me exaggerating? That happens all the fucking time. Every month or two, a YouTuber I listen to gets kicked off of YouTube, or has their Patreon removed, or has their Twitter suspended, or gets kicked off of Facebook, whatever. It's almost all the time. The only reason why I've escaped wrath because my channel's so small and they don't give a shit about me. But once they start with the big channels, they're just going to work their way down. And it's a principle of the matter. Who cares if my channel is personally affected? It's not my livelihood. But it's a principle of the matter that I should be able to say what I want as long as it's not a direct call for violence. What if they try to dox me? What if they try to take away my job? I can't feed my family. That's pretty fucking serious. So you may just say, wow, that's the huge hyperbole. They're just trying to tax you a little more whenever you're trying to eat out. No, but it's a broader picture of all of these little things together, making people's lives more miserable and putting people's livelihood and their rights and their way of life at risk. That's the issue.